appears that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are determined to make the 70th monarch's anniversary, her platinum jubilee, one of the most difficult ever. Why? Let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to have your company as ever. Hope you're all keeping well, fine and dandy on this beautiful day once again. I know it's really warm out today. What they call that word? Close, humid. Does nothing for your look, does it? You know what I'm saying? Everything starts to run, yes. And it's a strange thing, isn't it? We're never happy, are we, with the weather, whether it's raining, sunny, whatever. But yes, I think I'm almost over this bad cold now, summer cold. So thank you so much as ever for asking, really kind of with all your concoctions and stuff to make it go away. I will keep a note of all of them. They all seem so exciting, and there's so many new ones, isn't there, that you don't know about around the world. I find it fascinating. We all have the same thing, but we all have different cures. How odd. As ever though, to your breaking roll story of the day, when you think about it with Harry and Meghan, it does seem that when you look back, they obviously have their own path that they want to go down, and they're determined to keep going down that, whether that angers, hurts and upsets many different people, including our gracious monarch of 70 years, Queen Elizabeth II. Very sad when you think about it, because even when you look back at that now infamous interview with Oprah Winfrey, and of course the late Duke of Edinburgh was critically ill at that point, they could have pulled it, they could have done something. As ever, we have to say allegedly, but I'm sure they could have done something, but they ploughed ahead, and that must have been incredibly distressing at a time for our wonderful monarch. So you can understand now how this story, which is now gaining traction and momentum over here in the United Kingdom, is rather upsetting too, because it really does concern one of her very close associates and personal assistant, Sir Edward Young. Now, Sir Edward Young has been dragged into this security case, which is currently ongoing at the High Court between Prince Harry and the Metropolitan Police, all about his desire to receive some protection, security, whenever he fancies coming over to the United Kingdom. Even though he's not a working royal, he believes that he should have it. And apparently, according to the court documents now, he's willing to pay for it. But his bigger problem is this, that he's now claiming, or his team are claiming, that that particular concern was not passed on to our gracious monarch, or indeed senior members of the British monarchy. And let me explain the reasons why. They apparently are claiming that they didn't realise that Harry was willing to pay for his own protection. But again, it just proves a little bit how dense it all is, because you can't pay for the Metropolitan Police. You simply can't. It's assigned to you under the grounds of the monarch's wishes. So, obviously, as we saw when he came over for the Platinum Jubilee, the monarch decided that, yes, she would send a car for him, and he would be under the close protection squad of the Met Police, of which I know many of. So they explain how it works and who's allowed it and who's not. What's interesting here to note, and I find this very strange indeed, is when you go back to that particular story that Prince Harry blurted out about popping in to see the Queen to make sure that the correct people were around her, I think we now know, of course, who Prince Harry was referring to. That was a bit of a sideswipe, but again, a very cruel thing to do for our monarch, particularly after she's gone through so much in the last 18 months, as we all have. Now, this could easily be resolved, and this is the problem, you see, but Harry is pushing ahead because now, as I say, it brings other members of the royal household into this. My surmise is this, that I believe Harry thinks in his own mind that if these stories are exposed, then it will show, of course, just how corrupt or how difficult it is to get your point over, even if you were once a member of the senior monarchy. But for him, Meghan, and of course their two children moving forward, will this really cement a better relationship with senior members of the monarchy? I don't think so. Will this help the public like them more over here if they do decree to come back over and, grant us with their presence? No, because the British taxpayer simply doesn't want to pay. And you can't really transmit that to the general public. Once they believe they're paying, they believe they're paying, even if Harry wishes to pay for it himself, which, as I say, is a ludicrous statement also in itself. But for now, Harry, Meghan, and of course Sir Edward Young and the Queen are locked in a very fierce battle which could become rather public. Another public battle would be the last thing, of course, that our gracious monarch, Her Majesty the Queen, would wish to be dragged into over something so trivial that could have seemingly been sorted out privately within the family. As ever, this is an ongoing case, and when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.